Hi, TikTok. We're just waiting for YouTube to get connected, then we'll get started. Okay, is this working? Come on. Why is this not showing up where I want it to? Ay, ay, ay. Just 1 second. Let's see where I am. I'm live there, not where I'm supposed to be. Oops. Ah, I see. Okay. Let's fix this. Shoot. Ay, ay, ay. Well, that's annoying. All right. Hopefully some of you have found this. If you're here and you can hear me, we've been having some tech issues, just let me know that you can hear me. I'm going to see if I can get in the chat. Wow, what a mess. I swear I've done this before. Once or twice. Ugh. Where is chat? Ay, ay, ay. Let's see, chat. Okay. Is anyone able to hear me / see me? I'm not seeing anything in chat. This is going well. There's chat. Is anyone able to hear me, see me? And then we'll get started. Just waiting for someone to confirm before we start talking. Anybody? This is... Ah, Susan. All right, we got one person here. Hopefully some other folks find this. Susan, are you able to hear me? I've been having some tech issues. Susan, can you hear me? Whoa. Oh, yes, you can. All right. Wow, everything's delayed. Okay, great. So what we're doing today is basically an Ask Me Anything around dating, dating relationships, sex, online dating, self-love, self-improvement, anything you guys want to ask me, you ladies, go for it. To give some time for people to hopefully find this, because I messed up the link, I'm going to try to teach some content, and then feel free to put your questions in the chat, and then I'm going to answer them after I teach some stuff. And then hopefully people will find this, because I messed up with the wrong link. All right, so what I want to talk about is why men disappear. I think this is a really important topic for a multitude of reasons. When we date and we get on date 1, date 2, date 3, so forth, and maybe we make it to a month, 2 months, 5 months, whatever, or date 5, date 10, sometimes a person ghosts, sometimes a person gives you a quick text message and says, I'm not interested. And the only times this really matters is when you like the person and you're shocked. And you were like, whoa, I thought we both liked each other. Then this person disappears or says they're not into it. And this spurs a lot of emotion. It can spur anger. It can spur sadness because you thought like maybe this will finally be the end of being single. And then you want to have an emotional reaction, which is perfectly reasonable. And you do, whether it be sadness, anger, and then you work through that. And then at the end of the day, you're single again. And there's some things we can do, some mindset shifts we can take so that we're more prepared for this. So this goes back to sales or sports. It's this mentality of I can't be defeated mostly, but also like understanding this is a process. So dating is going to be a process. And most importantly, like when we get someone who decides to leave or is not interested, or maybe we get in some minor conflict and they're not able to communicate about it, this is all great news that they're leaving. Because if this is the first sign of something wrong, or and some conflict arises, or just they decide you're not the person, we don't want that person around. When we all started this dating thing looking for love, we wanted to do it to find this amazing human that adores us. And the moment someone doesn't adore us is the moment we are perfectly happy when they exit the relationship. So when we're happy, eventually, once we get over anger, sadness, whatever we're feeling, once we get neutral on the topic, we can then eventually move to happiness. Like, whoa, I dodged a bullet. And you can even fast forward this in your mind to like, if it was a date 5, date 6, imagine if you were stuck with this person for 6 months, a year, 2 years, and finally you figured out it was the wrong person. So then you get really grateful at the time save and the heartache. If you're just finding this, please feel free to say hello and let me know where you are in the world. I'm in California, and it'd be cool to know where you are. And if you're just hopping on, what we're doing is we are going to ask questions. Anything around dating, sex, and so forth. I'm going to see if I can pull up. There it is, TikTok. Let's see if anyone has questions there. There it is. TikTok. Let's see if anyone has questions there. All right, we got TikTok open. There it is. TikTok. Let's see if we can get YouTube open for questions here. TikTok open. There it is. TikTok. Let's see if we can get you. Gotta figure out how to mute this. There we go. All right, Ashley joined. So what we're doing is an Ask Me Anything. You have anything around dating, sex, online dating, feel free to fire some questions. Why you may want my opinion. I've been a dating coach for 11 years. I'm a best-selling author. I've been partnered with Match, OkCupid, and eHarmony for well over a decade, getting 83% of clients into a relationship. I've got online dating mostly dialed into the fact where you only need to meet 8 people to get into partnership. So if you just hopped on, feel free to go in the chat and write your dating question. Or if you want to work on self-improvement, feel free to pop that in as well. Susan, if you're still here, do you have any questions around dating? TikTok, if you're here, feel free to say what part of the country you're from. I'm streaming from California. Oh wow, this is super delayed. Huh. Let's see if I can get these questions up. Huh. That's not good. Oh, I see. Whoa. What a mess. All right, Susan has a question. I met someone on Bumble 2 months ago. We like each other. I had intercourse with him. He never showed any efforts to plan anything. I broke up with him through text message. He didn't reply back. Should I move on? We like... Susan, great question. It sounds like there may be a small chance of trying to have a conversation with this person just in case there was some confusion. I like to be overly thorough. I think in dating, like our first thing is like, let's just end it. And, you know, if that's I get that that's kind of what dating is. It's like, whoa, this early, there's a big problem. Like it's so easy to just move on to the next person. But personally, what I think to do is I always have like a sit down conversation and see how that goes. Because, you know, when you get into 6 months, a year, 2 years, you're going to be having these tough conversations. And so I think it's fair to share, like, I'm assuming, like, Susan, you're feeling like, man, I really like you, which caused me to have sex with you. And then right when the sex happened, all of a sudden, like, I'm not getting the attention. And I was feeling, a little vulnerable. Like, I took my clothes off. We had this amazing experience. And then all of a sudden, because I thought we were in this and we like each other, and now you're gone, or it felt like you're gone. And, I really like you. And I was just wondering, like, did we want to date, or were you just looking to have sex? Like, what was this? And maybe, he just wanted to have sex, or maybe he got busy with something. But most likely, it sounds like, he wasn't that interested, because there should have been some effort. But there's like a 5% chance there was just some 5-10% chance there was miscommunication, which I'd want to get some clarity. If he's willing to hop on the phone or get together, you can chat about it and be like, hey, I liked you. What happened? Do you, where are you at? Does that make sense, Susan? Is that helpful? Like, what do you think? Do you want to try to have one conversation with this guy? And TikTok, if you're on here, feel free to go in the chat and write down any questions. This is an Ask Me Anything in regards to dating. Same thing with YouTube. Hopefully I will see your questions. It seems to be a wee bit delayed. All right, I just got a thank you from Susan. And I will add, hopefully this isn't too tender. I'm not like, unfortunately, able to interact with you, Susan, and understand where you're at. But I'll try to give some advice. I've always been freaking awful at picking partners until recently. Obviously, I live with my girlfriend now, but before her, I just really struggled. I would pick what in my heart or in my head thought was the right person, but ultimately I was really bad at picking. And then I typically would have sex sometime between like date 3 and date 6, which didn't serve me, because once you got sexual, you kind of had this expectation that you'd continue to be sexual. And so if you were sexual at some point and then you get rejected, it kind of feels bad. And anyway, it just sets up this awful dynamic, because even if you're having sex on date 3 to date 6, you don't really know the person at all. So what I would suggest is, first of all, only have sex where you know that if they decide to never talk to you again after the sex, you in your head were like, I wanted to have sex at that time. I'm surprised they're not talking to me anymore, but it seemed like that was the right time. I felt comfortable, and it was the right time for me. So get that in your head first. So I found out soon I broke up. He added more females into his Facebook. So I guess he, is still dating. So Susan, he added more, I guess it's Facebook dating app. And so you found out he added more women, and then you broke up with him. Did you have a conversation? Like, are you guys exclusive? I'm just basically getting curious about, maybe there was some confusion. Like, did we decide we're exclusive? Just trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, but some signs do point to he was just trying to have sex. But maybe he did like you. I mean, there's a small percentage chance, and it just got miscommunicated, and there's some confusion. But All right, so if you just popped on, feel free to ask me anything you want around dating, relationships, sex, so forth. All right, so someone on TikTok wrote, Costello wrote, my guy's amazing, but physical attraction is not there. I keep giving it time, but I'd love to hear kind of how long you guys have been dating. There's obviously, I'll have a very different answer if you say you've been dating, 1 or 2 dates versus, oh, we've been dating 6 months. Those are very different. Susan says, I need to stay single. Too much drama. Yeah. What I would recommend, be single. That's great. If you ever decide to date again, don't have sex for a while. Like, go really slow and just make sure you have the conversations. Like if we're gonna be intimate, like, do we like each other? Is this a relationship? Are we exclusive? Like, are you looking for a relationship? Just get some clarity that you're on the same page. For folks that just want to have sex, like, by all means, like, say, hey, I'm just here to have sex. That's great. But if you're like, I'm finding my person, I'm committed to this, and I don't want to waste time emotionally, physically with the wrong person, like, have these conversations. Yeah, I think we like try to make assumptions, and when we don't know these strangers, we kind of tend to get it wrong a lot. So we gotta be careful. Costello, I don't know if you're still here, but wondering how long you've been with this guy. I did, while I wait for your response, he's cute but doesn't take care of himself, drinks, acne, no muscle. Been trying for 4 months. Wow. Have you guys kissed or had sex? I imagine. So Costello says her guy's cute but doesn't take care of himself. He drinks, has acne, no muscle, and they've been trying for 4 months dating. That's a pretty substantial time. Susan says thanks over here. You are very welcome. What other questions do folks have around dating, relationships, self-improvement, self-love, sex, or anything? Try to help you out. Susan writes, if he does come back, should I curse him out? No. I mean, if he lied to you or he did something wrong, maybe you have a firm discussion with him. But, I always like to assume there's just miscommunication. Unless, like, someone, like, I always, this is maybe the naivety, being naive, but I like to think like, especially people that I decide to take my clothes off with, like I'm hoping they're like a good human and there just was some miscommunication. Or like, yeah, I don't know. Like we kind of have conflicting things at times, right? Like a man is trying to have sex and a woman's trying to find love, and then we intersect. And it's like this struggle sometimes. So the man trying to have sex is like, maybe he's found that he can get away with not sharing what he's looking for and then just going on some dates, and then all of a sudden he gets laid. Where a woman's like, I'm not going to share that I'm looking for love because I don't want to scare a man away. And then boom, we're having sex. And then it's like, which sadly, for both parties isn't effective. For men watching this, like, or women that are just trying to have sex, if you say, hey, I'm trying to have sex, you'll be shocked at how many people are like, great, let's have sex. And the same thing with women, like, you will get so much better results where you're like, hey, I'm looking for love, I'm looking for my partner. The people that just want to have sex, like, they leave immediately. And the people that are looking for love in their partner, they're like, me too, great. Like, it just is the most effective way of accomplishing your goals. Like, if you just say exactly what you want, that's what you'll get. If you're not saying it, it can be challenging. Cool. Sorry, Susan. I'm probably like you're probably, it's so hard to see through text, but it sounds like you're kind of annoyed with this guy, and I'm just like babbling scenarios that may not be specific to this, but are general advice. And you're probably just like, freaking guy had sex, didn't like me, just like angry. Sorry that happened. I hate when those scenarios happen. It's been a big part of my job is just like protecting women. And the reason I mean, first of all, I am a man, but like there was a big portion of my life where I was just trying to have sex. So like I experimented with all the different tricks of accomplishing that. And I'm sure at times like I didn't provide all the information to women. And, now I'm a much more honest person and more forthright. But, part of why I started this business is like, let's just help everyone get exactly what they want. How long should you wait for someone to come back? I mean, you shouldn't. Like, there's no real, like, you don't wait. You just go live your life. Susan says, how long should you wait for someone to come back? Especially, like, just go live your life. Like, especially, I don't know how long this is, you guys have been seeing each other. Maybe you can say that. Or maybe you did already. Oh, 2 months ago. I mean, yeah, like, you guys have not built that great of a foundation. He left. Just go live your life. Go see your girlfriends. Go on other dates if you want to. Yeah. And then if he shows back up, there's two things. One, be curious. And two, be like, what the heck? What happened? Like, where'd you go? And if it seems reasonable that why something happened, you can give it another try and talk it through. Or if you're like, this guy's a bozo, probably just trying to get laid again, then you don't need to see him anymore. But yeah, there's no real waiting. There's no waiting. Anybody on TikTok have some questions about dating? Happy to help. on YouTube as well. Got both of you up. Susan, I'm planning to curse him out. That's funny. Cool. Maybe go curse out a pillow. I don't know what maybe making you feel better. I don't know, but if you're hoping to get him back or get curious about what happened, I don't know if cursing him out's gonna get you any information. But I do love it for therapy purposes. A good old curse out certainly can make you feel a little better for while you're doing it. But yeah, certainly not gonna get you a relationship or get you moving on to the next one. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, like, we can have some gratitude that this hasn't been dragged out for months and months and years. Assuming this is just him having sex and leaving, we're finding out that he is not the guy early. So, can be happy about that. Susan's probably going to curse me out soon. Yeah, I find so like what I've been working on is I have like so these are extreme emotions. Like I'm depressed, want to kill myself, I'm happy as can be. I try to sit in here so my emotions don't go too high or too low, but also when anything happens, good, bad, indifferent, it's just something that's happening. Like I don't make too much of it. It just is what it is. Like, oh, this person dumped me. Oh, I had a great day at work. I made some money, blah, blah, blah. Like, don't get too high, too low. It just is what it is. Like, that happened. So when I talk about things like, oh, this person, we had sex and then they left, I can talk about it as matter of factly, not any emotion charged to it. Because once we get to this neutral standpoint, which you don't have to be at now, but at some point getting to this neutral standpoint of like even me, like, hey, I got engaged and now we're not. Like if I had to talk about that 6 years ago, it would be very upsetting. Right now, that's what happened. And, can talk about it as something sad, happy, playful, whatever. No charge is going to happen for me. It just is what it is. Susan does not want to curse me out. She appreciates the advice. Susan, I appreciate you for asking so many questions. Thank you for spending time with me. Anyone else who has just hopped on, feel free to ask questions around dating, relationships, online dating, self-improvement, self-love. Anything. All right, we've got a small, intimate group. We've got 8 people here. Who's got questions about dating, relationships, anything? Anybody? Margot Walker says, I've been doing online dating. However, it seems that most men expect sex on the third date. How do I approach that mindset when it doesn't agree with mine? Great question, Margot. I would tell men that you are interested in dating slowly. And if at some point they are wanting to have sex, you tell them I'm not ready. And you can try to be transparent of, what ready looks like for you. And, we can check back in. And ultimately, there's two pieces here. The right guy that likes you and is also looking for a relationship is probably going to be perfectly happy waiting however long he needs to wait. The wrong guy is going to be like, whoa, I just want to have sex. I'm out of here. So having these conversations is always going to get you the right result of either the guy disappears because he just wants sex, or the guy really likes you and he wants to hang out. Or the guy that wants a relationship but doesn't like you that much, he's going to disappear as well. Because it doesn't serve him to wait this out for not the right situation. And just to clarify, this happened with my current partner, Paige. At some point I was ready to have sex. She was not ready yet. She told me, I keep messing up this dating thing. And I was thinking in my head, oh, I keep messing up this dating thing too. And she's like, let's go slow. And I'm like, of course I wanted to have sex at some point, but I was like, it's a good idea. I want to get this right this time. I'm tired of getting in relationships and breaking up. It hurts. Hurts my little heart. So the right people will go slow. Will go on your timeline. And then also with Paige, I was having so much fun on the dates. It wasn't that big of a deal. I'm like, oh, we're going to go play beach tennis, or we're going to go on this great walk and go to this fun little tea bar. This is fun. And we had a good time. We were always laughing. Went on some cool hikes. This was great. So, however long I needed to wait was fine. As long as I'm having fun. If I wasn't having fun, I'd have been like, see ya. Hopefully that helps, Margot. Does that make sense? I think I broke TikTok. Yep, broke it. All right, just YouTube now. You are very welcome. What other questions do you folks have? Oh, how about that? Now my chat over here is working. It's a miracle. Margot, anything else I can help you with? Or Susan, feel free to chime back in if you want. I'll give it another minute to see if people have questions, and then if not, can hop off. And then next time, hopefully I'll do a better job of figuring out the tech, because we had a lot of people waiting in the other room and couldn't get into that one. Whoops. Did any of you folks come from the link I sent, the other room, and then find this room? Because that'd be great. How fast guys move on? How fast do guys move on? I mean, it depends on the guy, but there's also like, so I think the thing we see in movies or even in reality is like, a guy is in a long-term relationship and then like 2 days later he's having sex with somebody else. And we're like, geez, he moved on fast. There's a big difference between physically moving on and having sex versus like emotionally moving on. Like that guy that moves on 2 days later, it's like more of an ego thing. Or maybe he's like, there's probably a lot of pain from some sort of breakup. Maybe not this 2 month dating thing, but like, a year, 2 year, 5 year, 10 year, 20 year. There's a lot of emotion. There's a lot of things that came up over those years. So if he decides to have sex, 20-year marriage and then has sex a month or 2 months later, it could be like, hey, can I still get out there? Do I still have it? Do I still look okay? Am I still appealing? Only one woman, I've only been with one woman for so long. So it might just be like an activity, a thing to do, a way to keep your mind off of it. There can be a lot of pain. And maybe he doesn't know how to process what just happened. And this is a good way to get his mind off of it. Margot wrote, I couldn't get the link to work and found you just by going to a previous video and your live came up. Yep. Sorry, Margot, I couldn't get that one to open, so I just had to start a brand new live. I'm so glad you found it. I think last week I was able to get the right link to work, and then this one I couldn't. So I don't know what I'm doing clearly, technology-wise. But anyway, I'm glad you found it. Susan, did that answer your question? Yeah, I think next week I'm going to use a different software that I'm more familiar with to stream just on YouTube, and we're not going to do TikTok because TikTok doesn't like us anyway. You're welcome. All right, any other questions? All right, if there's no more questions, I'm going to try. Oh, there is one more. It is sad that he is 53-year-old. It is sad that he is 53 years old and still a player. It's his loss because I'm 46 years old and beautiful too. Susan, you're 100% right. It is his loss. I don't want to be the bearer of more bad news, but I have clients that are in their 70s, 80s, and even the one in their 80s are still dealing with some players. It doesn't matter the age. This is a problem that persists, unfortunately. I mean, if you think about it, like just from a logical perspective, the folks that don't want to be players that are in relationship are in relationship. The folks that are single, just by like, in theory, the emotionally stable, capable of commitment are in relationship, and single people are single for a reason. Either they don't want to be in a relationship, they have some emotional baggage they haven't taken care of. But yeah, what I can tell you is take control of your dating life. get really clear, like practice having conversations with these men. Like, what are you looking for? How's this going for you with me? And then going on the dates, getting to know each other, going slowly. And then when it's time to have sex. But like, have the conversations first. Like, hey, I'm at the point where I'd like to have sex with you. Like, what does sex mean to you? Like, is it just fun, or like, does that mean we're exclusive, or is like, are we, like, what is it? Because like, I think a lot of women, if you have sex and then you see this guy on the dating app, or you see him at coffee on a coffee date with another woman like 2 days later, you're going to be upset. And like, frankly, I'm just going to be honest with you, I don't blame him unless you, as someone who's learning from me or my client or whatever, you've got to have the conversation with him to say, this is allowed, this is not allowed, or this is what I want, and be in agreement with each other. So if it's like, hey, if we have sex, no coffee date in 2 days, now we've had the conversation. And then if he's at coffee after you had the conversation and he agreed that no more women after sex, well, now you've got every right to curse him out like you wanted to. So, once there's no miscommunication because we've had the conversations, now we can assign blame. But I feel like since we're all here working on ourselves, like, we've got to get our side of side of this right. And if we're doing it right and then they mess it up, fine. But let's do our side right. All right, Morgan says, I'm 70, and it seems the older they are, the more they push to move too fast to a relationship. Yeah, it's interesting. Like, what I'm seeing is I've got a lot of friends now that are like in their like high 50s, 60s. A lot of friends here, and they're just getting out of like 20, 30, like 30-year marriages. And they don't know how to date. They're in a relationship for 30 years, a marriage for 30 years. Dating is slow. But what they do is like, first, second, third date, and all of a sudden like, ooh, I like this person. And now they go straight from the dating courting phase, and they skip the real courting phase that could last, to date 20, and they go right to we're in a relationship. Calling every day, texting every day, seeing each other a few times a week. There's phases to this. If you want to learn about this and have a structure, John Gray wrote, what's the book? I think it's like The 5 Stages of Dating, or John Gray on a First Date, or I don't know. Anyway, I read it and it's perfect. It talks about the 5 stages of dating, which like a lot of us just go from like a few dates to in a relationship, and we skipped like three, 4 phases. And that's why we messed this whole thing up. We have our divorce rate like well above 50% because we're not going slow and going through the process. Yeah. And I blame everyone. No, but it's not anyone's fault because we don't teach this stuff. It's not taught in school. We're so new to this. We've only been dating for love for like 50 years. Our parents, our grandparents were getting together for financial reasons, security, whatever. Now we're like, everyone's hopefully doing okay. It's like, let's date for love. And we're like, how do we do that? And we don't freaking know. Shoot, I'm an expert. I'm still trying to figure it out. Best-selling author, and I don't know. I'm just winging it. We're trying here. We're trying every day to get better at this. Any other questions? All right. I think we're going to hop off. Next Thursday, 5 o'clock Pacific time, try to get the appropriate link to you so you don't have to go searching for me. But Margot, I'm glad you're intelligent and found, if you go to my profile, you can see the live. So glad we got to spend some time together. Margot, Susan, thanks for the questions. Susan, thank you for sticking it out for most of the time. And hopefully we'll have something new to talk about in a week or two. And love you guys for spending time with me. We'll see you soon. How do I stop this? Oh boy.